So now here at the wreck of the Agrius, we're gonna find the truth at last about Midgard Zomer here. Is he alive? Is he returning? What about what Iceheart said about seek out the Keeper of the Lake and we'll understand everything? I don't know. Hopefully we'll actually find those answers. And my tank is not paying the least bit of attention. That is not good at the start. So as the Doman said, we actually have some a bit of wildlife who have taken up refuge here. Understandably, it has been 15 years and until recently hasn't been habitated at all. Assuming that's even a word. So it's a bit natural that some of the creatures of the lake should come up and start to take over. So apparently I'm still having that issue where my sound is not properly working. I reset my PS4 and everything, so I don't know what's wrong. Not that you really need to hear most of the sound effects anyway, but it's really kind of harsh on my part because sometimes I have to rely on that, or I've come to rely on that. So I know my skills and stuff are going off. So this is really awkward to not play with it. But whatever, I can't exactly fix that right now. I'm gonna see if I can figure that out later. Alright, so once we get that little mess sorted out, another piece of the hull is gonna fall and let us pass. Apparently it knows that, it's trying to protect itself, huh? Huh? You trying to tell me something here, Mr. Dragon, sir? Assuming you can hear me? You trying to keep me from passing further until I pass your test? Is that your deal? Is that your deal? Actually, I have no idea. It's dungeon mechanics. Don't look too much into it. Alright, so a dead toad and a bunch of goblins later. We are arriving at our first boss. Awesome sauce. Now, I've heard that, I didn't want to open my map, I want to focus target, that this is a reference to another slightly more obscure Square Enix game, but I don't have any further information on that, but whatever. This boss is annoying. Actually, all the bosses in here are annoying. Actually, might not want to waste my stacks. So every once in a while he likes to fly up and disappear, which sucks, and usually it's followed by the cerulean tanks falling to the ground. Now there's two kinds. These smaller kinds can actually be knocked away to the side. And there's actually going to be bigger ones that appear later. You actually want to try to get these as much out of your way as possible, because the boss's moves can actually ignite them, because apparently ceruleum is extremely combustible. So you want to avoid that if you can. Like this one is about to ignite because of that. Now thankfully the smaller ones only have a small scale AoE, so as long as you're further enough away it won't damage you at all. You can actually plainly see the circle. Yeah. But the boss will also do this, and as I get an achievement, suck you and the tanks in, kind of messing up your progress there. Now the big tanks you can't actually move. They're too big and too heavy, so yeah, you kind of crap out of luck there. But unfortunately, when those ones blow up, they make a much, much bigger boom. So you kind of want to try to avoid those ones detonating, if at all possible. been okay so far. Sometimes it's just RNG. Yeah, see that flamethrower move can also ignite them, and I think this AoE can too. And if any of them are actually in the explosion of another one, they will also ignite from that too, so you can easily accidentally set up a chain reaction, which sucks. But so far we're looking pretty good here. It's probably one of the cleanest runs I've ever had of this. Assuming it doesn't die before then, I was gonna say, I'm like, that other one is gonna set the one next to it off too. So moving through the decks, man. And now we can actually see the evidence of the, I hate when the tanks do that, of the Guardian's presence here. Trying to salvage some of their metal. I mean, I kind of suppose they have a little bit of a right to it. I mean, granted, this isn't their territory, but it is their ship. But hey, the way I see it, you lost your claim to this 15 years ago. You had all this time to come after this, and you did not. Like, Rodona, like, barely had any people and anything. You would have been, like, relatively undisturbed and everything. But nope, you had to wait 15 years before you get desperate. So like all good video game characters, they will drop an identification key upon their demise. And uh-oh, we set off the alarm. Well, it took long enough, you know. I wonder, like, it's never explained actually what raises that alarm, and it doesn't even actually even serve a purpose. But why they actually locked themselves out, I have no idea whatsoever. I mean, if we sounded the alarm first and then you got a message saying, oh, you know, the gates are locked to prevent you from passing because intruders have been sensed, that would have made a bit more sense. But that's not really what happened, so I don't quite understand. But, game mechanics, so yeah. So this little field generator is what blocks this, this Colossus in there, and somebody apparently killed it when I wasn't looking. So that's quite alright. They conveniently have a treasure chest right there. And this contains just like trash loot and stuff. But up here, it's the exact same thing. It's lather, rinse, repeat. Attack the generator, get the Colossus freed, and kill stuff. I'm not sure why they had the same pull twice in a row, but whatever. So once again, we get a key that drops. I'm gonna shove her in the terminal here. Thankfully, no passcode needed. And this actually shuts off the alarm. Since reinforcements were never actually summoned, I don't actually see the point of the alarm. It's like, we're dying. You know, they're coming, and then they get about a 5-second warning. Then we're gonna kick our butts and notice we were there anyway. It's not like we were sneaking around. But I don't know. So now we have a gunship to contend with. Joy, joy, joy. Now, I hate this boss. I mean, the first one was okay, but I hate this boss because he just likes to move around a crap load and do whatever the hell he wants. Like, he targets a random player and does this, for instance. So you constantly have to be moving. Your ground AoEs do jack all. You have limited field of movement, and eventually he'll actually fire like 2 of these off like back to back, so you have like a shitload of the field covered, which is really annoying. This flamethrower move lasts for freaking ever. Like the ads are actually the least of your worries in this. But yeah, and he does this for the whole fight. He also does like a swooping move, I think, at somebody, but yeah. Like in the first like 3 seconds, you've already seen all the mechanics of the fight. It's kind of lame. So, finally, it just takes too long. I just don't like that fight. Like, your ground AoEs are absolutely freaking useless, and... Alright, so now we're gonna move to the stern of the Agrius. Wait, don't run away. So the gunship that we just defeated, well actually, it's probably a different one, launches surprise assault. Oh no! Thankfully, though, we can actually use this to our advantage, and very few people know about it, and I can kind of understand why. I didn't know about it for a while. But if you actually group up together, since the gunship actually fires at random players, you can actually stack up here. And what will happen is you stand a better chance of the gunship actually aiming it toward the mob like that, and it actually does damage to them. I didn't realize it for the longest time until somebody actually, like, mentioned it, like, in passing, like, it's like, oh, man, that's so awesome that, you know, it's like, hooray for extra gunship damage or something like that, and that's when I realized that this was possible, because usually this sort of thing isn't, that enemy attacks don't hurt each other, unless it's specifically part of the boss mechanic, which, at this point, I don't even think we've encountered. At least not that I can remember. I mean, there's too many bosses to think of right now to remember, if not, but yeah, you wouldn't ordinarily think of that. So that is kind of interesting. And unfortunately, we do have to wait until the gunship actually lets us pass. Ironic. So now you can clearly see we're on the bones of Midgard's Zorm right here. Quite literally. Still hugging this thing tightly. See, it's actually gonna hit those dragons. Yep. So yeah, you don't tend to see a lot of people stacked up here, because like I said, I think a lot of people don't realize that you can use this little feature to your advantage. Unfortunately, in this pull, it does mean you're at the mercy of this wyvern over here. Selena's getting her butt kicked too, but it's quite alright. We're through the worst of it. But yeah, in a way, I kind of suppose it makes sense that the gunship would hurt the mobs, because the Garleans don't want them here any more than you do. So. Alright, so, what now? We climbed the whole way up.
Who treadeth now upon my bones, and waketh me from
You guys are in for a bad time!
sweet?
So, what's up?
Remember, mortal, and fear me.
Okay, so after a little mishap where everybody doesn't pay attention to what their healer is doing and they go in and accidentally wipe. Yes, always watch for that, by the way. We have to fight him. Which, honestly, I find rather strange. I mean, not that the fact that this battle actually exists, but there is no pretense over here. He's just mad at you for, you know, treading upon his corpse. But you say nothing to him, and he says nothing to you. It's more like, roar, I'm angry. Like, he doesn't like attack you with the first blow, and that's why, you know, you fight back against him, or sees him saying something about I'm testing you or whatever. Because remember, we're not just here simply because they want us to, like, they literally sent us up here to research if he's awake or not. They didn't say anything about, you know, you need to put him down, you need to attack him, or anything of the sort. Just go and verify the story is pretty much why we're here. And on top of that, there's still that whole thing with Iceheart telling us to, you know, seek out the Keeper of the Lake. So, and since she's not freaking educated us on anything about what's going on, it would be prudent for us to actually, you know, maybe talk to him and see if we can find out what the hell is going on and what the hell we're so ignorant to. But nope, he's just gonna come over here and kick our butts. Like, I just wish there was a bit more pretense to it, like with Ramu was. So, an interesting thing to mention is that his all his attacks are actually based on emotions. And if you don't get the shield up and get inside, yeah, this move will kill you. But thankfully, if in the short duration it's up, it will shield you from the dragon's attacks as well. So that's pretty cool. And I love this theme, by the way. But yeah, even when we had to, you know, speaking of Ramu, even though when we had to fight him, when they said it like way at the beginning of the game, you know, Ramu is, you know, a rather pretty decent primal. And obviously when you found out, at least on the patch notes, that you were going to fight him, it seemed only natural that, you know, the fight was going to be a test. But you knew from the start that, you know, he wasn't just going to outright, like, attack you or anything. Like, there was going to be something more to it. And here, I wish they kind of elaborated on that a bit more. Now, if you notice, when we kill the first dragon, it takes off a crap load of his HP, because, well, makes sense, I guess, considering he's placing his spirit into it. Now, with these dragons, actually, they're tethered to him, as you can see. That actually comes into play here, because, well, most people just tank them where they are, which utterly solves the problem. But if the red one is too close to Midgard Sommer here, he actually gains a vulnerability down buff, and this one for the opposite. If he's too far away, he gains that buff. But thankfully, if you tank them right where they are, they're right in the middle and right on the edge of said border, so you won't have a problem. It's like a lot of people still don't even realize that, because usually you don't typically even have to move the boss at all. So these floor AoEs get really annoying with Celine. Like, there's literally nowhere you can put her that she's not going to get hit by anything. So yeah, floor AoEs pretty much everywhere. Antipathy, I hate this move. Specifically lands in the center like that. Now, I love how these random things just happen to be holding a field generator for you. Yeah, see, this dragon's hat is, Granite Rain is not gonna hurt us whatsoever. Celine, knock it the friggin' hell off. Get over here. She's so annoying to control in this fight. Oh look, a free spot, hooray! we defeat the second dragon, he's, almost kind of dead. Sorry we have to kind of kill you again. I might not want to stand in that. Got him a derp. He's, pretty easy to kill. Yes, I am. Have you not heard of me before? I mean, granted, you have been kind of snoozing up here for 15 years. So what now? Hopefully we didn't, like, kill him for good, because that would kind of be crappy. Well, I mean, I'm sure the Asgardians would like that very much, but it still won't explain the problem with Iceheart, and it would probably start to piss her off more. So I don't know. I'm a little lost here. What do we do, guys?
By her gifts hast thou earned a moment's reprieve.
Okay, so now you're gonna talk to me? Hi, I'm Nameless Protagonist. How are you?
Speak, mortal, and I shall listen.
Why did you straight up attack me? I didn't mean you any harm. At least not yet.
Guided by a star.
Why is that funny?
My people have heard the song. Ishgard shall burn. Sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. We do not forget. We do not forgive.
Yeah, if our encounter with Bahamut was anything like that, yeah. Dragons like to tend to hold a grudge. That's not the right way!
7 children did I sire. One now singeth of retribution. I rise to join in the chorus. Thou art powerless to silence us, mortal. Yet thou shalt not live to labor in vain. Thy reprieve is at an end.
So it wasn't him who cried out, but one of his 7. But who?
Trickery is thy shield. This frail, ignoble creature is not gifted, but chosen. Hearken to me, Hydaelyn. I remember, and I consent. Fear not, mortal. I shall not harm thee.
What's going on? Holy crap! What just happened? Yeah, I've been here before. What's going on? No? No, 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 no! What did you do to me? No! No! I spent ages collecting those! What is going on here? This is not cool! Not cool at all!
Mayhap thou thinkest me an oath breaker.
Well, you did try to kill me first before you let me talk to you, so I don't know how trustworthy you are.
Thou art mistaken. If thou comest to harm, it shall be by another's hand, not mine. I did but strip thee of thy mistress's feeble blessing.
Well, what the hell did you go and do that for?
Thou didst profit much by her grace, but no more.
Hi? Who is this little fellow?
The covenant binds me to thee. I shall watch, listen, and wait.
Okay, so you became a tiny little adorable dragon. Okay.
Fight and struggle, if it be thy will. Man hath ever coveted that which lieth beyond his grasp. I drink of her body, and thence doth mine own find new life. When it hath grown whole, the loyal and penitent shall rejoice. The dragon song heraldeth our beginning and an end.
Okay. Alright, so a bit of explanation there, because in English he's actually not as clear as he is in Japanese, and the devs actually made a post about this to sort of explain this more. I don't remember if it actually made it into the final cut or not, but I believe a couple episodes back, I think sometime in 2.4, I mentioned putting in a link in the description about the dragon language, but I'm not sure if that made it into the final cut or not, if I actually said that on screen. But I refrained from doing that because it had spoilers, and specifically for this. So basically what happened here is, we don't know the nature of it, but Midgard Somer, being incredibly freaking old, has some kind of covenant with Hydaelyn. And what he actually did was he stripped you of her blessing, only to replace it with a blessing of his own in order to honor said covenant. Again, the details we don't really know. He's a lot more chatty in the Japanese version apparently, and apparently I guess he comes off as a lot more benevolent. Still kind of a little bit shady, but, you know, here he comes off kind of a little bit dickish, I guess, and a bit too vague. But the reasons they did that had to do with the dragon language itself, that apparently, since dragons are very old creatures, that their language actually has dwindled quite a bit over time, similar to how, and this is how they described it, and of course it speaks true in real life, that when you're around someone so much, you kind of become in tune to their inner psyche, and you can actually like finish each other's sentences and whatever, because you're just so in tune with you know, the other, and you know what the other's gonna say and all that stuff. So context is really important to the dragon language. So they could communicate with very few words, and what those words actually mean depends on the context of the situation and who they're referring to and whatnot. So they don't have, obviously, as many, you know, it's kind of archaic and whatnot in that regard. And when they did the English translation, because the Japanese was kind of, he was a little bit too talkative, they pretty much dwindled it down to more of an ancient archaic speak to kind of convey that a little bit, but it just didn't come across quite right. But obviously they can't add like a new cutscene like to specifically for the English dialogue to combat that, because it's all the same client anyway. So that's why they made this post describing a bit of the dragon language, which certainly did help to explain it. But in addition to this, not my mount guide, my minion guide, we actually have, where is he? He's right here. He's actually a minion now. No, summon him. Okay, that. There we go, okay. We just wouldn't show up there for a second because darn my sound. So basically he's fashioned himself a new body. Hooray! And this is the only minion in the game, actually, that appears straight in your minion guide. It does not appear in your inventory first, so he's the only minion who you cannot avoid getting. Now, as a minion himself, he doesn't actually do anything, but he is watching over us, and he is, you know, he's really tiny now, and he's travel-sized for our convenience. Hooray! So he's actually pretty independent, and one of the couple of the cool things he does is eventually he'll actually perch on your shoulder. And he can actually perch on either one, which is really cool, and he'll actually stay there until you unsummon him. Like, he just stays put. And while he's on your shoulder, he'll actually occasionally breathe a little thing of blue fire, and he's so adorable! Look at him! Look at him! He's just so cute, and occasionally when he turns around, he'll look at you. And whatnot. Can you get on my shoulder, please? So yeah, the day this patch came out and the day people did this dungeon, like, everybody had this freaking minion out. It was crazy. Alright. Yes it was. But the question is, what do we tell people about what the hell just happened? Okay. So apparently he went back to Ul'dah. Okay. Oh, sorry, he's back from Ul'dah, I guess I should say. So back here in the Rising Stones, Lucia, we have a problem. Now, I wish they actually showed it, that him walking back and forth, because there's been, several references to him being impatient and pacing back and forth, but I wish you actually saw it. Like, even in cutscenes, you actually don't see it, which kind of sucks. So they're still talking about the same old crap, okay. So why aren't you in the office with me? You kind of might want to hear this. Otherwise, we're going to get a Minfilia. Oh, hold on, let me summon the others, and we have to wait 10 seconds for the damn cutscene to load. Oriange, what are you doing here? I meant to talk to him, but whatever. Yeah, you guys aren't gonna like this. Assuming I even tell you everything. Why is Lucia not here? Well, he's been alive for thousands of years. I mean, as much as it seems kind of crazy, you know, a bunch of ceruleum tanks blowing up on him, might not be enough to kill him. Yeah. So I guess that explains why she's not here, but... Okay. mostly okay. That he did, but he didn't elaborate on that. Okay. Maybe. Good a theory as any at this point. Yeah, we don't want to necessarily cause a panic. I'm sure a lot of minds will be blown by this. Oh, hi, bro. As my boots are clipping through my dress.
My friend, I can scarce believe it. You confronted the Worm Lord and lived to tell the tale.
Yeah, I was just outside the door. Like, you didn't say anything about that then? Oh, game continuity.
I give thanks to Helone for your preservation. It is our sole cause for gladness. Your encounter with the Keeper of the Lake served to confirm our fears. A great worm has roared, and it makes little difference if it was one of the two in Eorzea or any other. The Dravanians are coming.
I am told that Ishgard has magical defenses against Dravanian attack, though I am not privy to their exact nature. Will they be enough to repel a massive force?
Ishgard has weathered countless assaults over centuries. This will be no different. And now that you have confirmed the threat, none can ignore the Lord Commander's calls for the wards to be strengthened. I dare not presume to speak for him, but I expect the Lord Commander would sing your praises.
I thought you guys were of one mind. Like,
I'm
I'm
also
sure
aware.
he would.
But we shall meet again soon.
Love how everyone's just like standing over there in the background.
Countless assaults weathered, and this will be no different? Why am I not convinced?
I don't blame you this time. Yeah, but they've gone taken and destroyed a couple vigils in the process. Okay, a couple of things before I end this episode, and I apologize for the length because I didn't want to like cut anything short of this. Number one is that we are not stripped of the Echo. The Echo and the Blessing of the Light are actually two different powers. They just happen to be blessed by the same deity over here. And obviously the Blessing of the Light is what we actually received when during that whole 2.0 crap where we gathered the crystals and yeah, and now they shattered and whatever. That itself was the Blessing of Life. You remember, we actually didn't have that power until almost the very end of the 2.0 story when it shifted to after we got Garuda's crystal, and it shifted to the impending Imperial Assault. I couldn't think of the word there, and the Ultima weapon. So yeah, we've only had it since then, but we've had the power of the Echo before, and we actually still remain to have it. That's another thing the devs had to clear up. And number two, if you watched the Binding Coil of Bahamut videos, which I hope you did, because I placed them specifically between 2.4 and 2.5 for a reason once I decided to do that, is this is actually the second mention of the first brood. The first mention is actually in turn 12. And in case you haven't put 2 and 2 together, and the devs have actually stated, you know, this is 100% accurate to this, the 7 children of Midgardsormr and the first brood are one and the same, which means we already know the identity of one of them. That, of course, is Bahamut himself. Now, we don't know the actual other ones. One of the job quests actually technically reveals the identity of the second one, but that's not important here or now. At least in the time being for this video, but in case somebody calls me on that, I'm going to just acknowledge that right then and there until it becomes more important. So, apologies for the length of this episode. Again, I wanted to get all this all out at once in a single unit before you had to wait another day to get it. So, thank you for watching, friends, and I shall see you later.